It was supposed to be just another ordinary evening for Mark, a devoted single dad juggling his job and raising his lively twin daughters. Between school pickups, homework battles, and bedtime routines, life was chaotic but manageable. That's why, when he saw an ad for a reliable babysitter, he thought he'd finally found a little relief. Little did he know, this decision would turn his evening upside down. Enter Emma, a young woman who seemed sweet, responsible, and perfectly capable of handling two energetic little girls. Mark welcomed her into their home, never suspecting that behind her friendly smile and casual demeanor lay a secret life far beyond his imagination. Emma was not just any babysitter. She was the daughter of a powerful CEO, someone who moved through boardrooms and exclusive events with ease. As the evening unfolded, what started as simple babysitting quickly became a chain of surprising events that would challenge Mark's assumptions, test his patience, and reveal hidden truths about appearances, trust, and family. The twins, oblivious to the mystery, were about to have the most unforgettable night of their lives, and Mark had no idea what was coming by the end. One question would linger: how would a simple babysitting job spiral into a life-changing revelation for this single dad and his daughters? Mark watched as Emma effortlessly engaged the twins, reading stories with animated voices and guiding them through a small craft project. There was something unusually confident about her, the way she seemed to anticipate the girls' moods and needs before they even spoke. Mark shook his head, impressed but slightly uneasy. He couldn't put his finger on why he felt this way. Meanwhile, Emma moved around the house with an ease that suggested she was no stranger to luxury or responsibility, though she never mentioned her background. Her manners were impeccable, and she had an almost uncanny ability to stay calm, even when the twins were bouncing off the walls. Mark found himself asking casual questions, but she always deflected with a polite laugh or a simple answer, never revealing much. As the night grew darker, strange coincidences began to unfold. A discreet phone call, a text from someone Mark didn't know, and a few fleeting mentions of important meetings hinted at a life far removed from the ordinary. Mark's curiosity grew, but he didn't want to overstep at all. He had hired her to take care of his children. The evening was shaping up to be more than babysitting, and the sense that something big was about to be revealed kept Mark on edge, his mind racing with possibilities he could barely imagine. As the night wore on, Mark began to notice small, curious details that didn't fit. Emma had a way of handling situations that suggested training far beyond what a typical babysitter would have. When one of the twins accidentally spilled juice on the carpet, she cleaned it quickly and calmly, then casually mentioned a technique she had picked up from managing high-pressure situations. Mark chuckled nervously, unsure if he was reading too much into it. Meanwhile, the twins were enchanted by her stories and games. Completely unaware of the tension building around them, they kept asking questions about Emma's life, and each time, she deflected with vague, charming answers that only made Mark more curious. He started piecing together the glimpses of her world, the subtle references to meetings, the polished demeanor, the precise way she spoke, and realized she was hiding something major. From Emma's perspective, she was treading carefully, balancing her secret identity with the need to keep Mark and the girls comfortable. Any slip could unravel everything, yet she couldn't help feeling a strange connection forming with the small family. The night deepened, and the quiet of the house contrasted sharply with the storm of questions swirling in Mark's mind. Something about Emma's presence felt too significant, too calculated to be coincidence, and yet he couldn't yet understand how deeply it would change their lives. By the time the clock struck 10, the atmosphere in the house had shifted. The twins were finally winding down, yawns and soft whispers filling the living room, but Mark's mind raced faster than ever. Every glance at Emma felt loaded with questions he wasn't ready to ask, and yet couldn't ignore. There was a tension in the air, an unspoken secret hovering just beneath the surface. Emma moved quietly, preparing the girls for bed with practiced ease, yet Mark noticed subtle signs: a designer watch peeking from under her sleeve, the crispness of her clothes, the way she referenced things that seemed far beyond her years. Each detail added another layer to the mystery, and Mark couldn't shake the feeling that this babysitter was connected to a world he barely understood. Then a sudden phone alert broke the quiet. Emma's expression changed, a flicker of seriousness crossing her face that she quickly masked. Mark caught it, a pulse of unease gripping him. Something big was happening outside this house, something that could alter the course of all their lives. The twins, half asleep, mumbled questions about big secrets and adventures, and Mark's heart pounded. Every instinct screamed that the calm of the evening was only an illusion. Whatever Emma was hiding, it was about to surface, and nothing would be the same after that revelation. Just as Mark was about to ask Emma the question burning in his mind, the front door clicked open. A sleek black car pulled into the driveway, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Mark froze, unsure who could be visiting at this hour. Emma's calm facade faltered for a split second, just enough for Mark to notice her tense posture. Before he could speak, a man in a tailored suit stepped inside, exuding authority and urgency. "Emma, we need to leave, now," he said in a tone that brooked no argument. Mark's curiosity surged, but so did his unease. Who was this man, and why did Emma respond with such immediate compliance? The twins stirred, sensing the sudden tension, and Emma quickly assured them with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Mark's mind raced. It was becoming clear that Emma wasn't just hiding a normal life, she was part of something much bigger. Something connected to power and influence he could never have imagined. As the suited man glanced at Mark, there was a silent warning in his eyes, as if Mark's next move could change everything. The night that started as ordinary babysitting had escalated into a situation full of secrets, danger, and a revelation that promised to shake Mark's life to its core. The question lingered: what had he really brought into his home? Mark's heart raced as Emma followed the suited man toward the door, the twins clinging to her sleeves with sleepy eyes. He finally blurted out, "Wait, who are you really? What's going on?" Emma paused, her calm demeanor giving way to a moment of vulnerability. Taking a deep breath, she knelt to the twins' level, and then looked directly at Mark. "I'm not just a babysitter," she said softly. "I'm the daughter of one of the top CEOs in the country. My father asked me to observe real families for a project. Your family caught my attention because of how close you are with your daughters." Mark's jaw dropped. Every unusual detail suddenly clicked: the confidence, the calm under pressure, even the mysterious phone call. The suited man, her father's chief of security, stepped forward. "We only wanted to ensure she returned safely. But seeing the bond she formed with your daughters, it's clear you're an exceptional father." Mark felt a mix of relief and awe. What had started as an ordinary evening had turned into a glimpse into a world far beyond his own. And somehow, he had passed an unspoken test. Just as Mark began to process the revelation, Emma handed him an envelope. "There's something else you need to know," she said with a faint smile. Inside were documents hinting at a hidden inheritance linked to the CEO, one that could change Mark's life forever. Leaving him stunned, and the story far from over, Mark stared at the documents in disbelief, his mind spinning with possibilities. The envelope revealed that he was now entrusted with a significant trust from Emma's family, not just financial security, but an opportunity that could provide a better future for his daughters. The gravity of the moment sank in, and for the first time in years, he felt a sense of hope that went beyond his day-to-day struggles. Emma smiled softly at him, her secret no longer a barrier between them. The twins, rubbing their eyes, tugged at her hands, still unaware of the full story but happy in her presence. Mark realized that the bond they had all formed in just one evening was genuine, a connection that didn't depend on wealth, status, or secrets. As Emma and her father left, Mark waved goodbye, feeling a mix of gratitude and curiosity about what the future held. The ordinary evening had turned into an extraordinary adventure, reminding him that life often surprises us when we least expect it. That night, as the twins slept peacefully, Mark reflected on trust, family, and the unexpected twists that can shape our lives. He knew one thing for certain: even ordinary moments could lead to extraordinary opportunities. And sometimes, the smallest choices could open the door to unimaginable change.